Hello and welcome back to Weston the Historian. Today I am a little sick and I got a really botched haircut, but I'm going to need you to stay with me here. Today I'm talking about my top 10 favorite history channels in no particular order, but I did save my favorite for last. Alright, so starting off, Cambrian Chronicles. So Cambrian Chronicles is a YouTube channel that focuses on Welsh history, as well as like forgotten and missing parts of British medieval history. And he's talked about like false information on Wikipedia, which I find interesting. But he talks about churches, talks about historical figures, he talks about conquests. But there's this emphasis on talking about forgotten or missing parts of history, and he talks a lot about misinformation on Wikipedia. So it's a very interesting channel. And especially just Welsh history is just not something I'm super familiar with. So a channel that focuses mostly on that and like medieval or early medieval English history is quite interesting to me. Next up, there is DanDavisHistory. This channel focuses on prehistory and ancient history, specifically like the Bronze Age. This is also a very fun channel. It's very interesting, very informative. He talks a lot about things that I don't know a lot about, and that just some other people don't really talk about, like Bronze Age beauty standards and stuff like that. Like this, he talks about things that most people don't seem to talk about. It's just very interesting to me. Next up is Apostolic Majesty. So this channel focuses mostly on like early modern Western European history, specifically in regards to like monarchies and aristocracies. But he explores a lot of different things, and he also is very much traditionalist, like Catholic type. So he talks a lot about Christianity, he talks about Catholicism, and he talks about things of that nature. He talked about, he made an interesting video about the last emperor of Mexico. He made videos about different emperors of Austria. He makes a lot of very interesting videos. They're usually quite long. He does a lot of live streams that go an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. But he makes some shorter videos, videos that are like 30 minutes or less. And everything I watched from that channel was very interesting. But yeah, so moving on is Premodernist. So this channel doesn't seem to have any real specific focus. I know he's made a lot of videos on Genghis Khan. He's made a lot of videos on the early days of the American Republic. He's made videos on Middle Eastern history. He is obviously he casts a very wide net, but he makes a lot of very interesting videos. They're very informative, and he has a way of speaking about these subjects that is very interesting, because a lot of the subjects he talks about aren't necessarily foreign. They're not necessarily like, there's no lack of videos talking about what he talks about, but I think he talks about some things better than other people do, and I just really appreciate that channel. He casts a very wide net, and he has a very interesting way of talking about subjects that might be familiar to us already, but he has a very good way of talking about them. Moving on, Pharaoh Nerd is a channel that focuses primarily on like ancient Egyptian history. I think I initially discovered it through like memes or something, but I think he used to make like dark medieval videos or something, but those videos are gone. So I believe that's how I discovered him, but I'm not sure, because all of those videos are gone. So maybe he deleted them, but I'm not sure what happened. Maybe they never existed and they're a figment of my imagination, and I discovered the channel on my own through something else. But it's a good channel on ancient Egyptian history. Moving on is Epimetheus. He focuses on ancient history, and he makes some videos on like national histories, going beyond ancient history, but he makes some great videos. I love his videos. Moving on, Voices of the Past focuses primarily on like first-hand accounts of various time periods and cultures, and that is a very interesting channel, because you learn a lot about cultures and how they viewed other cultures, and you learn a lot about how these cultures viewed themselves and how these cultures viewed the world around them in a way that, not a lot of other channels, specifically ones that don't focus on first-hand accounts, will be able to tell you. It's a very interesting channel. Next up is the Kings of France. So this channel focuses on the French monarchy. Now, they stopped uploading, but the videos are still there, and I very much appreciate this channel. I find it very interesting, just finding out these snippets of information on the French monarchy. They've done a series on every royal family that's ruled France, including the Bonapartes. They've done videos on specific monarchs, on the mistresses of the monarchs, on daily life in Versailles, all these other very fascinating things, specifically on French royal history. Moving on is Laser History. So this channel I very, very much like, and while nothing else in this list is like in an order, I would say Laser History and the next one probably are my genuine top two. Laser History does a lot of videos on like Central and Eastern European history. He's done videos on like Slavic paganism, on the history of the Slavs. He did a really good video, which I have rewatched multiple times, about like early, Viennese coffee houses, and I found that one video extremely interesting. He did a very interesting video on Miklos Horthy from Hungary. He did video on the history of Hungary. He makes a lot of very, very fascinating videos, and I very much appreciate that channel. So last but definitely not least, this is my favorite channel on YouTube for history, Kings and Things. So this channel focuses on historical architecture and art and European monarchs and aristocrats, and I just think this channel is actually just such a wealth of information. It's very interesting. He's done videos on Rococo art, and like there was a period which I was not familiar with before I discovered that channel, where he talks about how during the Rococo and Baroque period there was an embrace of like Chinese-inspired architecture in Western Europe. I was not familiar with that, but he made a video on that. He made videos on specific European monarchs and specific. He made a video about historical libraries, which was quite interesting. I very much appreciate that channel, and that is my all-time favorite. So go and watch all of those channels, and that is this video. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.